What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So the House of Victory recently said that they re-signed Bear Alexander, the top defensive line transfer that came in last year, to I guess a new deal. I guess these are only like 1 year deals that the House of Victory is doing with the NIL and the athletes at USC. So that was pretty interesting news to hear about. But I guess it's kind of like if you have a really good year, then you can renegotiate and get a better deal, better opportunities to make money and all that stuff off your name while in college the following year after you had a successful season. So I guess I understand it, especially for him most likely leaving after his junior year this season coming up in the fall. But yeah, either way, I thought that was a pretty nice and interesting nugget about House of Victory and the NIL collective as of right now. I know it's probably not the same everywhere, but at USC as of this second, that is what it is. And then the other day, actually I think it was Tuesday. It's either Tuesday or Monday, I'm forgetting now. But yes, USC did get another commitment in that 2025 class, a local California guy, the cornerback Trestin Castro, who, yeah, he's only a 3-star, but a lot of people are doing their work on him, and he did get a lot of offers from some really good places to other good schools. And he's another very tall cornerback at 6'1". I think he even played some offense, but I think he's coming to USC on the defensive side, and they definitely have a body type now on the edges, on the outside of their defense. They want him tall. Yeah, he's lean right now, but hopefully he's going to add some more pounds onto his frame over his senior year, and then once he gets to USC next season, he will be ready to go and maybe even a little bit taller by then too. So yeah, it'll be pretty interesting to see an average height of like 6 feet for the USC defensive backs, because that has not been the case as of recent history since I've been watching them since the early 2000s. So that'd be pretty cool. And then yes, Trent Perry, one of the top players that was committed to USC basketball, recently asked for a release from his letter of intent. I know it's kind of like you pretty much, when you sign that, you're basically saying you're committed to playing to the school that following season. But since Andy Einfeld, the head coach, left, he said that's pretty much his decision as to why he wants to get released, which is kind of interesting. And it would suck because I think he just recently won at the McDonald's All-American stuff, like the 3-point shootout, so he is a very talented player. So it's going to suck if they end up losing him officially, but he still says that USC is part of his recruitment, so I guess that's at least a little bit of hope going into the future. But even hearing some word that Bronny James, LeBron's kid at USC, is planning to enter the transfer portal. He has not officially done that, so that's going to be a pretty big thing to watch. That's pretty interesting too, because if he's going to enter it, there was no word of him heading towards the draft, so I guess it looks like he's probably still going to stay in college for at least one more season. You never officially know, but I think all this news kind of came out right before USC is supposedly rumored to be already scheduled a meeting with Arkansas head coach Eric Musselman, who did really good with that program, especially the last handful of years. Even Duke beating him in like the Elite Eight a couple years ago, I believe. But yeah, he's got some pretty talented guys on that roster that he developed and was able to sign very talented players too, and doing good in the transfer portal. So I remember pretty recently, the past couple days, the Arkansas, I think it's not the GM, but the athletic director, yes, did say that he does not plan on Eric leaving and no team should come after him. But I guess he's already scheduled a meeting with USC and most likely Jen Cohen, USC's athletic director. So this will be some pretty big time news. And if he ends up getting the job at USC, then I expect those two guys, Perry and Bronny, to be back at least for the season coming up. And a bit of recruiting news, yes, over the weekend, 5-star quarterback Julian Juju Lewis did visit USC. I don't think it was an official one, because I think he's probably already done that. He's visited USC multiple times, especially lately. And he still says that, yeah, USC is number one on his list, even though he is taking visits to other colleges, which is always a little bit scary because then that college always, their fan base says he's coming to their school, but then he just comes and visits USC and then reiterates that he's going to USC. So hoping that is the case, but there were a bit more recruiting news happening. A local 4-star safety from California, Jaden Hudson, put USC in his Final Four, so that's pretty interesting. Then that 5-star defensive lineman, Justice Terry, was announcing some more official visits, and of course USC has one of its last visits in June on the 21st, which is going to be their big bash, their big celebration, and hoping to get a bunch of those top guys to sign after that weekend, and I think a couple weekends before that too, like around June 7th. But yes, he is at least coming to one of those officially. I know a lot of people are thinking that Georgia can flip him back again, but with him having that last visit to USC, I think they'll have enough time to make a late push for him to get him officially on the team next season. So hoping the best in that conversation. And then, yes, there was another player, a 5-star wide receiver, Khalik Lockett, set up an official visit to USC on June 7th. So yes, like I said, it's going to be the 7th and the 21st of June, which is going to be a big time party. I know last year when they did that, a lot of commitments happened. So they're definitely bringing out the big guns and bringing out a lot of the 5-star and talented players to come and visit on those days. So hoping for some big fireworks news heading into that early part of summer coming up soon. And yes, over the weekend, the Lakers did lose pretty badly to the Indiana Pacers on the road, 90-109. Just a bad game overall. They weren't able to get back into it. I know the Lakers did recently beat them, so they kind of got one back on them. But either way, it's only their first loss of this road trip so far. And then very soon after that, they did play against the Brooklyn Nets and got that victory, 116-104. LeBron had 40 points, 7 rebounds, and was 9 of 10 from the three-point line, which is pretty crazy. So obviously he did go off, and that was a big-time victory because the Nets are an okay team, but they're pretty much down there. So yes, luckily the Lakers did not slip on this one and got that victory. Then the next game they just played recently today on Tuesday, pretty early, against the Toronto Raptors. Got that victory, 128-111. LeBron had 23 points and 9 assists as well. And I know Toronto had been on a pretty bad losing streak coming into this, and every time it seems like the players that were out and contributed to why they kept losing all of a sudden feel healthier and want to come back once the Lakers roll around. And that happened with a couple of their star players, and you just kind of hope that they wouldn't slip up, and luckily they did not. I know a lot of teams have done that recently, like Washington and even like Houston, or places like that. Even I think Detroit, when they had their big time losing streak, they were playing the Lakers, and yeah, luckily the Lakers got that victory too. But either way, only one loss so far on this road trip. I forget how many more games they have on the road coming up, but either way, hopefully to finish out strong this season with the playoffs coming up soon. And then you probably heard about it about a week or so ago that Scarlett Johansson of Marvel fame is in talks to be the main lead of the new Jurassic World movies, which is most likely going to be like a trilogy or something like that. But that's pretty cool. You lose one Marvel star in Chris Pratt, then you gain another ex-Marvel star in Scarlett Johansson. That would be pretty cool to see her lead it. I don't think it really matters who is the main star of it. I did not go to those movies to watch Chris Pratt or Bryce Dallas Howard or any of the other actors. I just wanted to see some awesome dinosaurs and some carnage and craziness happening, which is why we go to any dinosaur movie. Speaking of crazy action blockbuster movies, I did go see on Tuesday that Godzilla x Kong, or Godzilla and Kong, the new Empire, the new Godzilla movie that came out last weekend, and it was awesome. If you just turn off your brain, don't really care about the storyline, it's kind of like just whatever. It's not that horrible of a movie either, but there's tons of action. A lot more focused on King Kong and his story and all that Middle Earth stuff, or Middle Realm, or whatever they call it. It's not Middle Earth, like Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I think even the director said pretty recently that if they do another movie in the series, he wants to focus more on Godzilla too. So that's gonna be pretty cool. That's pretty much why I go to these movies. Big time Godzilla fan ever since I was a young child. Yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.